Spirit said you needed a message, so I'm here to deliver. Um, Hopefully you're doing well. I do have this new deck. I was gonna do an unboxing. Actually, I did an unboxing, and the audio was so messed up because I didn't use my microphone. So that's life, I suppose. Um, and I'm hearing that number one, if you have a message for someone that if something is bothering you, if you need to get something off your chest, um, if you need to vent about something, if you just need an outlet for, like, another person to bounce ideas off of, do that. um, and try not to place expectations on people through other means. Like, this is just an example, but if you're on YouTube, like, don't use your videos to try to send a message to somebody when you're clearly we're here. I'm talking to a bunch of people, and I have a small group of people, but if it were a bigger group of people, it would not make much sense for me to send personal messages through my videos. So you know you need to speak to someone personally if you have an issue with them, or if you need to talk with them about something. And it's not just problems. I'm thinking, like, maybe you have something to say to somebody that it's just like they're the only ones who would understand. But maybe you feel like, well, somehow that they should know that they need to come to you and talk to you. But it doesn't always, we can't always expect that of people, so it's not fair, and we wouldn't want it to be expected of us either, I think. So I think that's the first message that we have. But Spirit, what else do we have? I've been shuffling this for quite a while. Focus, this keeps coming out a lot. Okay, I think that's the Sagittarius. Arrow, actually, I'm not sure. We can look in the book. Message, this comes out a lot. Okay, I love this. This, there's another one, transformation, and it might even be number 44. This is number 33. This is the moth, and then there's a butterfly on the transformation one. So, and that is a big message right now, and I'm not sure. Oh gosh, okay, I got you, Spirit. I'm not sure what it's trying to say yet, though. A message of transformation, sure, but and then focusing on the message. Okay, so focus on the message that you want to deliver. What is it that you want to say to the world? What is it that you want people to understand from you? And I noticed that this arrow is pointing outward. So this is kind of an outward thing. It's not so much internal. Um, and moths, moths. There's another deck I use a lot, and the moth is a sign of death. But in this case, the moth is a sign of a message. Jealousy. Okay. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Any other messages from this deck that I need from this? People are not always jealous of you just because you feel like they might have something to say. Sometimes people just, again, need to get something off their chest, and it's not always about you or about how they feel about you, and it's definitely not always about jealousy. And I feel like that's an overused sentiment. People would rather just say, oh, somebody's jealous, than get to the real deep meaning behind a situation, because saying somebody is jealous is way easier than admitting that maybe we're a little bit at fault too. And that's for me too. Although I do try not to say that people are jealous unless it's true. Like, I hate that. Truly, I do. But sometimes people are jealous, and jealousy is not always a toxic thing. Everybody is jealous of something. We all wish we had something that other people have, right? All of us. And it's not always about, like, wanting to take those people down. Sometimes it's just envy. And sometimes this perfectly healthy and innocent. Like, I wish my hair were like some of the YouTubers on this platform, but it's not. And so, but I certainly wouldn't wish harm on them because they have bad hair, or they have good hair. Excuse me, not bad hair at all. But you know, there is this thing of people want to take something a certain way, maybe because of their past experience. Well, definitely because of their past experience. But over time, I think this is going to change. And I think the way and it doesn't have to be jealousy. I think it's just any like perceptions of people right now is skewed, especially with this eclipse. And I think that's what this. Oh, and you know what? What does this look like? Kind of. It kind of looks like an eclipse to me. Maybe even on a different planet. Ooh, wouldn't it be amazing to be on a different planet where there's one, two, three, four moons and they all lined up like that? I guess you wouldn't be able to see it like that. Oh, unless there's two suns. And then maybe you could see like all of the four moons lining up, creating an eclipse from one sun and enough light from the other one to see all. That would be amazing. Holy crap. So that is a message. That image in my mind is gorgeous. Wow. So like a quadruple. Okay, so this eclipse is really powerful for a lot of us, and I know it was for me. Oh my gosh, I have had the craziest, like not even just supernaturally, just like people and me, like being very triggered, very very triggered by things, and then that it becomes a like a it goes back and forth. It becomes a circle, a vicious circle. Like, somebody says one thing and it's really not that bad, and then somebody says something um, else and it's just a little bit worse, and then it kind of goes back and forth, and nobody ever intends for it to get that bad until they do, and then it gets real bad, and it's just felt like a little bit out of control, a little bit out of control, and so there is this issue of timing. Now is not the time. I'm hearing now is not the time to focus on how other people feel about us. Okay, that's definitely a message for me too. But that's hard because when we feel like everybody is on, everybody, you might feel like a lot of people are not on your side. They're not supportive. They're not here for you when they said they were going to be, or and I just mean like in spirit. Like they're not like they you didn't expect anything other than just kindness from them. You didn't expect them to come and save you. You didn't expect them to come and like be your support system in any way, but at the same time you expected them to like not be an asshole, and yet here we are where they're being an asshole. So and that's probably again not about you. It's not about you, it's about them. So karmic path, yeah, this is a very big learning time for all of us. And let's see. Okay, we're gonna get one more card. So what is coming of? Okay, no, that was two. What is coming of this karmic path right now? So we have time and we have karmic path. So big Saturn energy. There's a lot of messages in the atmosphere. I heard in the air. So I'm not sure what that means. I guess it's like, well, sound carries over in air, so that would make sense. But um, it's something about the air, like maybe about the weather. Oh, I think that's a world message, because we had a serious, or they had a serious storm in the southeast of the USA, and you know it's just awful, and it's one of the worst storms we've ever had in our lifetime, if not the worst, other than maybe Katrina. And over time, this is not due to get better. So we are needing to start to think about how we can plan to live in a time where this sort of disaster happens without it being a disaster anymore. So whether it be to fortify buildings or whatever it be, to move to a different place where these things don't occur. I don't know what this is really about right now. This is very extreme. I just came back from a walk and I was like not going to do a reading, and then here we are. So okay, gratitude. So the cure, the medicine for all of this is gratitude. And I actually got that message today really from myself, even my ego self. I felt like that was where it came from. um, because I was doing medical qigong, and for the liver, I talked about that before, and I don't know why, because I don't have any issues with my liver, but and nor do I drink at all, really, not at all. So I don't know what it is with the liver meridian there, but I have been told to work on that, so I have been, and I think it's the liver, where the tonification exercise involves, you're doing like a thing like this, and you're saying thank you doing it. And each of the tonification exercises, Bodhi Qigong is his name. He's super great. Recommend him. Um, he talks about, he gives you an emotion to work with for each of the Qigong exercises, because it's like the opposing emotion of what makes you sick. Because in Chinese medicine, I suppose diseases are like diseases are directly related to these difficult or negative emotions that we experience. So there is something there about, if you're experiencing a difficult emotion, if you're experiencing even a period of ill health, gratitude will really help you. And I'm not saying it's going to cure you. Please don't come at me with thanks, I'm cured. This is just the message I'm getting. Okay, so gratitude is really going to help us feel better, and even over the long term with that Saturn card there. But also, it's really our medicine. And I know that's for me, but that's definitely not just for me. I'm feeling that definitely super strong for the collective. And so ask yourself where you can be more grateful, and then where you don't feel like that's possible right now, and that's perfectly valid. Because sometimes, oh gosh, it's like, how can I be grateful for this and for this when all of this is happening? It's just, it like I physically cannot muster that emotion. That's okay. Just, be aware of your heart space and just say thank you. Just say thank you, thank you, thank you. And it doesn't have to be for anything. In fact, that might even be better. Just, we don't need to, say thank you for a specific thing. Just say thank you and make it a practice. And that's one of the easiest things you could do. Like, you don't really have to put any effort into that. You could be walking down the street and thinking thank you, thank you. And it might feel a little bit cheesy at first, but it's okay. It's okay. um that's a big okay, that's a message there. And I think I've talked about this before. Like, a lot of the things that in spirituality they say to do, it feels cheesy, and it's really, for me, oh my gosh, it was so difficult, and it still is. It's like saying, like, with the self-love thing, like just saying like I love myself, it feels like cringe to me, and that's part of it. That's the wound right there. So okay, so the places where we feel like it's cheesy to go, and or to say that or to do that, in order to heal or in order to better ourselves, that is a light, okay, a light, pointing at these um, wounds that we probably have from past lives. They've come from past lives. They're not just here because of this life. I'm sure they are here from this life, but those, they're so bad or they're so severe in this life because in our past lives we had those many a time. And so they've, now we're here in this life to heal those. And it's not that we're going to be able to heal them all, but the ones that are sticking out to you like that feel super cheesy, those are the ones that you need to focus on. Because I know it, like, and this is like my thinking right now is, like, how could I even realistically think about how I'm gonna feel in my next life when when I'm still like so lost in this one, you know? And but spirit has, that's what spirit is saying, is like, we we don't want to live in our next life like that. Like, we can't live in the future in this life, so we can't live in the future for our next life either. But we do need to just keep it in mind, because we can make this life beautiful, and by doing that we can make the next one even more so, because we're here watching this video and in a comfortable area, even if we're not doing well financially, but like, as you know, we're in a safe place right now, because um and don't take this the wrong way, just because somebody's not in a safe place doesn't mean that they deserve it, but because in a past life, in many past lives, we've worked towards this. So this is a big upgrade. This is a huge upgrade from a lot of our past lives. Okay, and you know what, I channeled, oh my gosh, a past life from Atlantis. And I talked about not knowing what it was about Atlantis, and I was watching an Illunia video and I just got it. And it just makes so much sense for me. And I think here is another message, is that it's about rebellion. It is time to rebel against the status quo of how we've been feeling and how we've been living. And it's not about like admonishing ourselves for the bad behavior. It's about like rebelling against these restrictions, that Saturn energy, these restrictions that have been holding us down for so long, and we feel like we cannot get out of it. And you know what? I'm sure a lot of us have rebellious spirits here. I know I do, and like that's just part of me. And I know that because in my past life in Atlantis, I was persecuted for that. I was persecuted for that because Atlantis fell. Oh, I'm getting chills. And this is, I think there's some of you who were maybe even involved with me here in Atlantis, where um, we knew that what they were doing, the way they were trying to evolve and advance, was was not aligned in any way to how we were supposed to as a species. They wanted to quicken the pace of our evolution and our spirituality in a way that was not natural. And it led to a serious explosion, a literal explosion. And it caused the world to lose our connection, our deeper connection to spirit. And I was part of a movement where I knew, and so did many other people, but they were too afraid to act upon it. I knew, and I acted upon it. And I saw a vision of myself spreading flyers, of saying like, look, this is what they're trying to do, and this will destroy us. And then getting thrown in jail for it. And then I don't know how I got out, but I did. And but I was a lot quieter after that, because it was extremely traumatizing for me. And I know, but that rebellious spirit never went away. Never. I still was rebellious, but I was just like, I was wounded. And then I came, and I don't know what happened after that with my other lives, but I know here I still have that rebellious spirit. And I still have that wounding of the rebel wounding of knowing that I want to change things, knowing that we want to change things. And um, you know, people being so opposed to that, and people being so offended by that, and people persecuting us for that. So we are here today to remember that we are allowed and supposed to. It is aligned to rebel, not just against the things that are obviously wrong, but also the things that are not aligned, and that you know intuitively that spirit has told you directly, because you have such a direct connection to spirit. You are here to rebel against that. So even if somebody is super amazing and they're saying all these beautiful things, but you know that one of the things that they're saying is not aligned, it's your job to tell them. It is your job to tell them. Not always, not always, okay? But sometimes when it gets to a point where you know that the message that they're spreading is harmful and that's not what they're intending to do, it's your job to figure out a way to give them that message, whether it be psychically or directly. And that's not always easy. It's not always possible. They're not always going to listen. But you still have to spread that message. And this just can't apply in every situation. So you really must use your discernment here. But it just wouldn't be channeling this if it weren't the case. Pleiadian priestesses, can you come in, please? Thank you. Oh gosh, okay. That was very, I've never felt them like that. I've been working with them for a bit, and they are very helpful. Can you help us so where do we start here? We started on jealousy. So, well, let's get some cards. Help me get a message. Let me finish up this message for the collective, because it was kind of all over the place. But, it should stick together for you in the end, if you're paying attention. Pleiadian priestesses, what do we need to know about this issue with past lives and gratitude and jealousy and all of this? Okay, we have the Page of Cups. So what's she doing here? Talking to her dog. She's a mermaid though, but she's like communing with the dog. She's trying to get the story I'm getting is that she's trying to get the dog to go inside and get the attention of the humans, for them to come out and help her with something. So I feel like, and don't take this the wrong way, but I think you're the dog in this scenario. So you're trying to get people to be, you're trying to help people be aligned, and you are aligning yourself by doing that. This isn't about changing people. This isn't about externalizing your life and making it your responsibility. No, but part of your job here is to have this rebellious spirit and rebel against the things that you know aren't aligned, and to do so in a way that doesn't lead to your wounding. That's what it is. It doesn't lead to your wounding. And because by doing this rebellion, by committing these acts of love, you are aligning yourself, because you're learning along the way. You're learning what works and what doesn't. So it's not about really, it is about the changes that you're making on the outside. It is. But it's more about how that influences you on the inside and what you learn from these acts. Okay? It's what you learn from these acts of rebellion that matters. And sometimes it hurts, and sometimes it's not fun, but other times you're victorious, and that's when you're like, oh, okay, that's how I do it. That's how I do it. And you're going to learn how to do this. So we're going to learn how to change the world, and that means just the people that we're in contact with, but also the world at large. Remember my video about ease. I know I was talking very slowly in that video, but if you got through it, ease is the answer. Ease really is the answer, but gratitude, ease, and compassion and love are all one and the same, really. And the Page of Chalices, she has a message for us. And what is this message? Please, Spirit. I don't know if I'm the only one who's given up a bad habit recently, but I gave up smoking, and I'm just going to say that. I was not sure if I should, but yeah, I see it in the picture. I need to say that because it's important. And if you are thinking about getting rid of a habit, there is somebody out there that's listening right now who it's very important for you. And I got this message through another reader, and she's somebody who doesn't like to say you need to stop smoking. Like she's said it several times, like, oh, I would never tell you. Or she didn't say it like that. She would be like, well, I don't want to tell you what to do with your life. But one day she was like channeling, and she just blurted out, you need to stop smoking today. And oh my gosh, I was like, okay, got it. So I stopped smoking. So there's some habits that we're trying to get rid of, and gratitude is going to help us with that somehow. And it is part of our karmic path, because if we can get rid of these habits, if we can come undone with these habits, then we have the ability to rebel in the way that is aligned, in the way that helps to change us and the world at large. So these habits are holding us back from understanding how to properly rebel. We have the Ten of Swords, feeling betrayed. Feeling betrayed by ourselves in a way, but also feeling definitely betrayed by others with this Lovers card. Maybe friends. I hate to say that. As you know, um, someone who's not straight, the gay card is, I think of friends, but I do feel like that's what I'm the message I'm getting, like something about um, feeling betrayed by friends, um, and and then therefore betrayed by ourselves because we feel like we've done something to deserve it and we haven't. Because and you know what, it's not, those aren't the people necessarily that we're always going to be rebelling against, and it's definitely shouldn't be the friends, but the friends are the ones who are going to love your rebellious side, and you will rebel with them, and you'll have a back and forth, and it doesn't have to be angry, but there, if that's part of your spirit, which I think it is, it's part of most of our spirits, but I think here it's part of our spirit. It's, they're going to love and accept you for that, and if they can't do that, then they're not for you. I'm not saying they're not your friend, because I'm sure that they do love you, but they're not for you, and they're not aligned for you. Okay, we have the Tower. Yeah. So I'm getting, okay, so we're going a little bit on the mundane side now. There's going to be a message that you get, or that you've already gotten from someone who you really admired or cared for, probably a friend, maybe a lover, that seems very cold, and almost like they're playing victim. And I hate saying that, but that's kind of the words I'm hearing. They're playing victim. So, Pleiadian priestesses, what is the purpose of this message, please? Is this mundane, or is this more of a bird's eye view of things, please? But I do feel like this message is going to knock you on your ass a little bit. And I just want you to know that this is part of that karma that I was talking about before, a few videos ago, that is being cleared right now, with this Pluto exiting Capricorn. It's being cleared right now, and this is kind of the last blip. This is the cut on the finger, right? Here we have the Page of Wands. Okay, so Page again. So you're going from learning about your emotions to learning about your passions. And somehow, okay, because I feel like if you're learning about your emotions, this is metaphorically, we're a little bit less mature, like we're a little bit younger. And then learning about your passions happens when you're a little bit older, right? So you're going from the cups to the wands. And in between that time, you're going to have to deal with some betrayals. And you have already dealt with quite a bit of betrayal. But it's definitely going to feel like it comes from the inside. It's always feeling like you're blaming yourself for it. And we are responsible for these things, but we're not totally responsible for everything. And that's another message I keep getting. We're not totally responsible for everything. We can share the responsibility. It doesn't have to be entirely on you. You don't have to carry that burden. And if you do carry that burden, it's going to get knocked off of you soon. Okay? It's going to get knocked off of you. Do things for the enjoyment of doing them. Have a passion just for having that passion. It doesn't need to serve any purpose. I know you are trying to get somewhere in your life, trying to accomplish something, and I almost feel like maybe some of you, your friends, the friends that you have, there's a purpose to having them. So, and that's fine, but maybe find friends that have no purpose other than friendship. There's no, so because it's it, it's not that it's destined to fail if there's something that you rely on each other beyond the friendship for, but it can cause a complication. And you want things that are just pure with no complication right now. That's what you need. Because there's this tower moment that's happening for a lot of us. And it doesn't have to be something that explodes your life completely. But I do feel like there's a relationship falling through right now. I do. And I think that um, uh, hanging, starting to dive into a new passion or to an old passion that you're revitalizing. I think that's and being grateful for the fact that you thought about that and that you have that talent. You know, it doesn't have to be something that you feel like you're super talented at, but you do have the talent because you can do it. And so being grateful for that. This is the medicine, diving into this passion, diving into this singing, diving into this dancing. I've been dancing to Italian music for a few weeks now, and every time I do it, I feel so much better. I cannot say what a beautiful medicine it is. And I'm still working on feeling comfortable enough to make a TikTok of it. But if I do, I will let y'all know, and you can go laugh at that. I'm just kidding. It won't be bad enough to laugh at because I'm surely not showing the world until it's good. But yeah, being grateful for those things that you have a little bit of a talent for, or just even an interest, because an interest really is a talent. Because not everybody is interested, not everybody would spend that energy on it. And okay, I feel like there's something about traveling here, but also the king, the emperor, the king, um, the queen. The emperor is with this queen who is lower than him in a way. Because he's gone through all of the suits and she's just gone through the one. But that was in his past life. You you are on this emperor phase where you've already gone through all of the suits in your past lives. This is the full circle moment here. You've already gone through all these things from all the suits in your past lives. Now you're on the emperor life where you're using all of the talents and the lessons that you've learned in the past lives, and you have a specific task that you have to complete in this life, and you will complete it. But it is expected of you, and it is a burden. It is a burden, but it is something that you are so able to accomplish. And you know what? It's going to be different from everyone. But the scepter is really calling out to me there, and so is the bird. So channeling your focus and attention and your energy onto the question of what is my purpose? What is my purpose? And we do have several purposes, but what is it for us? Because in this collective, every one of us has a very important purpose that we must accomplish, because it will help make the next life even more beautiful. And it's not just about that appreciation of the next life and the appreciation of this life, but it's going to be something that's so satisfying to you. And the sunflowers are sitting, it's like, and I'm seeing the shadows of the sunflowers, like, so nothing can grow underneath them. So you have to make your light so bright, that, and this doesn't, anyway, you have to make your light so bright that um, it eclipses all the other light. So nothing can grow around you that is going to, no weeds can grow around you, because you shine so bright. You're not going to be, nobody is going to be able to get through your defenses. Nobody is going to be able to trick you anymore and make you feel like they care about you when they really don't, and use you or abandon you or whatever. Like, they're just not going to be able to do this anymore. You're going to see right through it, and you're going to rather be alone than to be, you know left to the whims of somebody who doesn't truly care. So you're cutting people out of your life. That's the main thing. You are being called to cut some people out of your life, and it's a hard decision. And I'm not saying, and I don't like when readers say that like that, because we don't know every single person's story, and it's not, and we have no idea how that could affect somebody else and if they deserve it and all that stuff. So use your discernment when people tell you that. But you do have something or a situation to cut out of your life. But once you do, Spirit is saying that your magician energy, your emperor energy will be coming out. And you already know what it is that you need to cut out of your life. And if you don't, then again, you need to focus that attention on that question. Ask the question in your mind, speak it out loud, and the answer will come. Ask for the symbols, ask for the ask for it to come through me if you want. But you're going to be setting the standard of what is the symbol, what is the sign that I want to see. So I'm not going to be able to say it directly to you from this camera, but I might be able to, like, I might be a vessel for Spirit to send you that sign that you have instructed Spirit to send. So therefore, it's coming from inside of you. Like, even though I'm a vessel for it, it's not me, it's you, right? So, and I'm totally, I'm not, I have a lot of boundaries, energetic boundaries, of course, but sending symbols and signs is my job. So I am open to that, absolutely. Let me just get one. This was such a random message. I'm gonna post it because I made it. It's been 36 minutes, so I'm not gonna waste it. But um, you know, I do hope it's helpful. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Um, I, I usually am a little more organized than this, but this eclipse energy, Jesus, I'm telling y'all, it has been so hard for me today. you know, and I was so triggered last night, and then I was, trying to talk to a family member, and they didn't care really. They made it about them, and they made it seem like, it was just it's just that kind of, like, everybody's in their own world right now. So don't be a try to be less offended if somebody, if you're upset about something and somebody kind of makes it about them, or if they make it like, um, if they try to handle it, or they try to handle it instead of just giving you space for it, then don't take it personally, because it's because they are themselves are going through something and they just don't know how to handle it right now. Okay, four of swords, in reverse. Some of you are not getting enough sleep, and I don't play around with that. Y'all don't make me fuss at you. I don't like fussing at my collective, but I will. Y'all better get some rest. Because the next time I won't be nice about it. Just kidding, I will be. I will be nice about it. But the world also reversed. There is a lot of some of the issue here today is that this energy with the wars that are going on and the weather issues and everything else is so much interference. I'm getting so many things all at once, and I swear it's just been like I cannot have a moment of peace. So I get it. Right now I'm good, but earlier, geez. And the violence is just very difficult. I feel so bad for saying that. It's very difficult for me, but of course it's much more difficult for other people who are actually going through it. But it's like my empathy is on. It's like a raw nerve right now, and I think I'm saying that because maybe it is for you too, and maybe you aren't realizing why you're feeling this way. And it's not just the eclipse; it's what's going on around the eclipse, because it's taking this already extremely detrimental and horrid energy, and it's magnifying it. So we're all feeling it, and we don't know where the fuck it's coming from. It's coming from the state of the world right now. So it's not just you. Like, you might have made a mistake because of how you were feeling, but please let Spirit make you understand that you are not, like, you are not totally to blame. You are responsible for how you react, but you are only human, and you're going to have times where you break sometimes, and you probably broke in the past few days. You probably broke, and that's okay. It's okay. um and you are very much protected, although I don't feel like you feel like it right now. But get some sleep, get enough rest, get extra rest. extra rest. And here we have another page of Pentacles. Um, and he's hiding his money with his, or his money is hiding his crutch. So um, don't let physical things hide your vulnerability. You can't, your vulnerabilities are going to be there whether you earn enough money or you get enough, get high enough level in what you're studying. Regardless, no matter what you achieve, your vulnerabilities are going to be there. So allow the universe to be your protector. Allow the universe to be that, because you're going to feel vulnerable and you're going to be vulnerable for the rest of your life. And vulnerability is actually something that we can feel very comfortable and and enjoy being in. But it's like it's either you do or you don't. And in this case, I'm sure most of us don't. But once you get comfortable with vulnerability, it changes everything. And it's going to be back and forth. It's going to be you sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. But right now, getting comfortable with that vulnerability, getting comfortable to opening yourself up psychically to this fucking bullshit that's going on in the world. Bullshit. You can see how I feel about it. I mean, it's bullshit. And this intensity of the eclipse, just opening yourself up to it and being like, okay, just give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. And just like, let yourself just be in agony for a few minutes. And then I think that's what it is. Like, allow yourself, give yourself a few minutes, schedule it in to just cry or to just curl up in a ball and say like, fuck this shit, this is not right, and feel it. And I think that's the catharsis that we're supposed to be having right now. This was a long message for just saying you need some catharsis, but hopefully the messages in here were useful for you, few who are watching, and I thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. A big shout out to Barb, who is always so supportive, and I have a few others who are too. Yeah, so if you want a reading with me, the link is down below. And again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let me know how it resonates, and I will be. I'm trying to go back to a regular schedule soon, but I just every time I feel a little bit better, the next day, like, and I'm so sensitive to how people are towards me, and I know that's my responsibility, but I don't know how to change that. Like, I'm trying, I'm doing shadow work, I'm trying, but I don't know how to change it. And so when people knock me off of my ass, when they're criticizing me, or they're saying that they're sick of my anger or whatever, like, every little thing, and it's not a little thing, it's always big things, but it's like I'm just getting pummeled by people lately, and it really takes all of my energy away, and it just, like, they don't understand what they're doing. And it reminds me of that song by Billie Eilish, where she says, if they knew what it did to me, would they say the same thing? It's just not what she says, but it's like that. If they really knew what it would do to me, how would they change what they're saying? And that's how I feel sometimes. I'm like, just be nice. Just like, don't be an asshole, and things would be fine. But and they don't realize how much it takes out of me, and that's my responsibility. I get it, but it's also like, kind of work with me, please. Work with me. I don't know. Maybe you feel that way too. I just feel like we are all being pummeled right now. Since this is already a long message, I'm just going to get one more of the Sacred Symbols Oracle decks. I just love it. Thank you for staying with me. Trust. Okay. I'm just going to read from the book, and then that'll be it. Trust is number 16. Step into the unknown. All may not be revealed at this time. Trust in unseen forces. Meditate on this to let go of all attachments or possibilities. Free yourself from dharma and increase your trust in your guides and the universe. Simple Void, inspired by the nothing in the movie The Neverending Story. Okay. Thank you for watching. I love you. Bye.